You are listening to the Hello Sport Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Hello Sport Podcast. Home of unqualified opinion and unwavering bias. Tom, Eddie, D or Dave here on the ones and twos. I'm getting into it real quick today, Eddie, because, you know, sometimes things happen that maybe change the course of a young man or woman's life. And, you know, from the day before to the day after, they're different people.
Look, am I coming down?
We're sort of coming down the other
I am
side
coming
of the mountain.
down. Now, you might say to yourself, shit, Edward, like, were you out fucking sending it last night? The answer is no, I wasn't.
What were you doing?
I was tucked up in bed. I went to bed early last night, but I'm coming down
From
off the
Saturday.
high of Saturday.
Yeah.
And I still am.
Still.
Such were the heights reached.
It's almost, I'm coming down, but I'm not coming down as much as you would think. I'm still pretty high.
That's what I mean.
Technically, I'm still high on PVL. Now, for those of you that don't know, we've known about it for a little while, but the great man himself, St. Peter Volandis, grandson of God, son of Christ, off the back of us, erecting a plaque in his honour at Wollongong University, shout out Jelly Shot Kid, he invited us to the races on the weekend. Director's Lounge, the full nine.
Look, it was the VIP luncheon.
The VIP luncheon.
Now,
Movers and shakers galore.
it was the Mover and Shakers luncheon, really.
Yeah.
That was its unofficial name. That's
Yeah.
what everyone was
That's what
calling it
everyone's calling it
internally.
now, yeah.
Like, you know, when you approach the door looking here for the Movers and Shakers lunch.
The Movers and shakers lunch.
Like, your words, not mine. Your words, not mine. But yes, we
Yes,
are.
that is exactly it.
Would you like some verbs? So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, some verb? Yeah, sweet. Did I reach for my wallet initially, then realize everything was free? Yes, I did. And I was very pleased. So we've rolled into...
I will say before that, shout out to BBL on the very classy invite.
oh, yeah.
Now, there was some music. There was
The invite was fucking... I wonder if I can send it to Dave and then he can put it into the video.
I think I do have it here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to hear the audio.
so
do
do
you
I.
plug it into your computer and then we just play a bit of that music through. But
I think it's important that people
yeah,
listen.
that they hear it. So basically, it's an evite. So it was an email. Whatever. Let's give them a bit more context, right? So after PVL, after the article went up about the plaque
In the telly.
in the Telegraph, the Men's Women's Weekly. Shout out to James Phelps, I think, who was the author of the
I think so.
journalist.
One of the great journalists.
One of the great journos, all time. I basically slid into PVL's or DMs on Twitter and was like, "Glad you like the plaque. You know, let us know when you want to do a podcast or some shit."
Or have that beer.
Well, that as well. I was like, "Let's have a beer podcast. Beer soon. Let's have a podcast." He then came back like, you know, maybe a couple of days later. Initially, I thought, "Oh fuck." He doesn't, you know, this may not go the way that we'd hoped. And listen, that was on me. That was my own insecurities, right? Of course the man was coming back to us. He said he was. He does what he says. And got to think back a couple of days and it was like, swing us your email. Want to invite your boys to the races. It was like, terrific. Email gets sent. We get the evite, which D or Dave is going to play now. Yep, get it up. And as you click on the email, it's like a letter. And I think if you turn these mics down here, I think it's more about these. So like it's coming through the headphones there. So if you turn them down, then they won't be able to hear it. But keep it up on the fader. And as you click on the electronic invite, can you hear
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
like second?
Yeah.
So it sounds
I
like
can only
shit,
hear
right?
you. Oh no, I can hear me.
We're all delayed.
Keep talking.
Yeah.
Yo, yo,
yeah,
yo, yo,
yeah.
yo, 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 yo,
Yeah,
yo,
no,
yo,
no,
yo,
no.
yo. Okay, hold on. Yo. I can't hear anything now.
Yep.
Yo. But if you were to play it,
I can't hear. Yeah. It's playing.
so as you click open the email, this music starts.
Look, if this doesn't get you pumped up for it, Movers and Shakers lunch, what will?
And then the picture comes out of the email. It's like Peter Volandis, AM, by the way, to Movers and Shakers. And I mean, look, as I'm getting bloody delay in the headphones, how could you not be up and about for that? How could you not see that and just be like, I am ready to rip and ready to tear? So, as Eddie said, we rocked along yesterday. Did we look fantastic? Or Saturday, did we look terrific? Were we dressed to the nines? A couple of things on what we were wearing. I've had a couple of dribblers, not many, but some dumb dribblers who saw what we were wearing in the photo, the famous photo now. The photo's done the fucking rounds of the internet, broke the internet.
Yep.
Of us in our suits not wearing belts. And they're like, oh, belt soon, bro. And I'm like, oh, do you not get it, dude? You're not meant to wear belts with suits. That's just the mistake of the culturalist dribbler.
If you don't have to wear a belt, mate.
Well, when I got my suit tailored recently, thank you very much.
If you're wearing a belt, it means your fucking pants don't fit.
Yeah. Your suit's not tailored correctly.
Your suit's not tailored. You bought it off the rack. You've taken it home. Nothing's fucking tailored.
No. It's a nightmare.
Your hems are fucked. They're scraping along the bottom of the ground.
Yeah,
you
got ankle swingers or whatever.
You got ankle swingers. It's like those
ripped jeans.
It's like boot cut jeans, and they're ripped at the bottom because you've been walking mud all fucking over the house.
In the BNS balls.
And the BNS balls out there rooting bloody,
each other.
rooting each other out in the back of some fucking ute covered in rump.
Yes.
Now, that's what you look like wearing your untailored suit.
Now, when you speak to the tailors of this great nation, shout out to my Korean friend in wherever the place was that I got mine, the guy was like, no, you don't wear belts. He was like, so my mum or whoever I was with was like, should we do it a belt? It's like, no. You don't wear belts with these things. They fit.
These dribblers would wear fucking belts to a fucking black tie event.
Yeah,
mate.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
And with like the big buckle on it and shit. No belt, elegant, understated. Did we look fantastic? I mean, look, your words, not ours. Yes. So anyway, we get there. I mean, we get into the Movers and Shakers lunch in the director's room, whatever it is, the VIP room, the Movers and Shakers room.
Look, we sit down and we get acquainted and we have a beer and then we might have had a verve and we might have had another beer. Like, we were there for 40 minutes before this thing really started to... Like, before we were seated.
Yeah.
I think, like, was PVL fashionably late? Yeah.
Of course he was.
But, like, he wants to make an entrance.
Yeah.
And I respect the fuck.
He wants to walk into a full room.
Exactly. And I respect the hell out of that. And also, I was like, 12:30 is a little early for lunch. Like, I'd like to eat a little later than that.
Mingle
so
a bit.
he read the room.
Yeah.
Comes in a little late. But we were sitting, and I've sort of spied what I thought to be our names. Like, it looks like,
Well, we knew we were on table number 3. We just didn't know where along because they're like long tables, and you just face out. You all face out and watch the races.
Yeah, the big boys table.
The
That's
big
what you
boys
said.
table. Yeah. We were on the big boys table at the Movers and Shakers lunch.
That's right. And I see like a 3-letter name with a long last name. I'm like, that could almost certainly be Tom Birmingham.
Yes.
I mean,
That's what it looks
like.
like.
I think that's a fucking safe bet. That sort of looks like Eddie Simpson next to him. Then on the left of Tom was
the very end of the table.
was like a word, and then 2 letters at the end. And I'm thinking to myself, 2 letters at the end, how odd. But then I start thinking, that's probably an AM. Is that our boy St. Peter? Sure as shit, Tom zooms in on his fucking...
Samsung Galaxy Note S20 something bullshit, but like super.
That
super
has
good,
magnifying
Basically,
technology.
You can see the moon.
And were we seated directly next to St. Peter at the Movers and Shakers lunch?
Yeah.
In a room of
Movers and Shakers.
75, 80 Movers and Shakers? Yeah.
Yeah. And that was a little intimidating off the bat. Now, look, you and I, especially when we're together, I think we're stronger together. Like, if we get splintered and we're caught sort of by ourselves, that's a bit where you can maybe get overwhelmed. But I think we're comfortable in those sort of situations. But when you see that PVL has sat us next to him, you best believe he made that call. It wasn't like a fluke. It was like, oh, shit, okay.
He dresses the room.
Yes, he absolutely is like, make sure these people are here. Put Tom and Eddie of Hello Sport fame directly next to me. So we're like, fuck, righto. Anyway, so we're sitting there. Like at some point, PVL comes in, gets on the mic, and he's like, yo, everyone get to your seats for lunch. So me and Eddie get down there, and we're just sort of waiting it out. We know who's coming, so we don't want to sit down and like have to...
Then get back up. So we're like, we'll just remain
We're just going to remain standing for now.
Rather. Yeah.
And then he comes over, and it was just, St. Peter, lovely to finally meet you.
He was St. Petered, and he felt good about it.
We called him fucking St. Peter all day.
Yeah. We did.
We really did. And then,
It's not a joke.
No. We called him St. Peter from go to woe. And then we were into it.
And he
was
ate it up
legend.
with a spoon.
But it was actually one of those things where he was super nice, very down to earth, and very easy to talk to. And yeah, did we like pick his goddamn brains about shit? And he was just super open.
He was open about absolutely everything. We had fucking questions all day long, but just good, honest rugby league questions.
Yeah,
About
we're
the
not-
future of the game. Is it in good hands? Where's it headed? That sort of thing.
Also offering up our own little slices of advice, Eddie.
Of course we were. I wasn't going to miss an opportunity to drop in a little bit of,
You know,
hello sport advice, I suppose you could say.
Questions around the future, the future
I
of the
will
game,
say this.
content.
I will say this, punters and dribblers. Having seen the man at work, I now know why he's chairman of two, of the biggest organisations in Australian sport.
Yeah. Well, CEO Racing New South Wales, and then
Well, whatever.
commission chairman.
The man can work a room like no one I've ever seen.
Mate, he was.
He worked that room to within an inch
Yeah,
of its
yeah.
goddamn life.
He had that room fucking like
On a string.
around the throat. He had the room. It was just like, I'm working this thing. This is all me. Constantly moving and shaking. Every time he'd introduce us to anyone, he'd like, oh, this is Tom and Eddie. Like, they've got the fastest, biggest, fucking best sports podcast in the country. And we're like, yep, sure,
Sure.
perfect, love it. Yep, correct. Top the heap, you should have said. But that's all right. And just forgiven. But it was just hilarious. And then obviously, so if you were following along the socials, the man's an absolute fiend for Pepsi Max. Loves it. No
As he sits
surprises
down,
there.
I'm like, oh my God. Like, the waiter obviously knows St. Peter back to front. He comes over with a beautifully cold, fresh can of Pepsi Max.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, dear God, is that for St. Peter? Yeah, it is. And he pounded Pepsi Max all day long. I don't know how many cans he went through.
He went through a few.
But he went through his fair share.
Yes, but he was like, mate, I'm on the job. I don't drink.
He doesn't drink on the job.
He's got to be there.
He's a consummate professional. He's like, I got pretty loose at the Christmas party. So which implies that the man likes a bloke.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't mind a bloke or two, but he knows when to let the hair down.
That's exactly right. And it was work time. And he was pounding Pepsi Max into the ground. Just like his oysters for his entree. He had like 24 oysters.
This is what was amazing, right?
He had his own meals.
There was a set menu, and the food was delicious. We had
Unbelievable.
some steak, some seafood, everything. It was fucking great. And so was the booze, by the way, and the dessert.
The tiramisu.
Tiramisu. I almost felt sick. It was a lot of tiramisu, but you couldn't help it. And obviously, I have a problem with sugar. Now, when we all have our own menu, and then your entrees come along, and then I'm like, oh, there's like a plate of 400 oysters next to me. And I'm like, are they like a take one, pass it on situation in the big boys table? I'm not going to touch it. And thank God I just sort of left it.
Thank God you
I
didn't,
didn't
mate.
take one, pass it on. And then Peter comes back and sits down and just starts hooking into the oysters. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is a man that knows what he wants. And again, I guess if you're here in the Movers and Shakers Lounge every weekend or every other weekend, it's like you've probably got your thing you just want to have.
Look, we were given 2 oysters and some prawns.
Yeah.
He
had 50 oysters.
he had at least 50.
A plate of 50 oysters.
Then the mains come
The
out.
mains is where it really sort of...
Tom got,
It
I
set
think you
him
got the
apart.
beef and I got
Yeah.
the fish, which was delicious. Both beautiful
That
meals.
was so good.
St. Peter got the lobster.
So it was like beef, fish, and then I'm looking at Pete, and it's like he has got like a seafood banquet, bro, where it's like prawns, lobster, crab, all this shit. I was like, oh my God,
And
this
it was
guy's living.
Was that even an option for anyone
No,
else?
no.
It was an option for one man.
Yeah.
No one else got lobster.
No
bro.
one else got
Or
lobster.
crab.
And I couldn't respect it more. I was like, that is so dope.
I respected the fucking shit out of him after that. But he ate well. He ate so well. But the food was delicious. He introduced us to the entire room, I think.
Yeah, damn near everyone.
Might have missed a couple, but look, are there irons in the fucking fire now?
Well, we certainly hope so.
We certainly hope so.
Because look, I mean,
The chats went well.
The chats. Look, the
Talks went well.
conversations in the Movers and Shakers Lounge. I mean, look, it's hard to know how much of the moving and the shaking is performative and how much of it is good, honest moving and shaking.
Well, we'll see.
We will see.
We'll know
And
shortly.
that's not talking about Peter. Peter is good, honest, mover and shaker.
No,
One of the
we're talking
all-time
about we're
greats.
talking about the others in the room.
Talking about the others in the room, the people it was talking to, some of the shaking and the moving that was done within the walls of the movers and shakers room.
Well, exactly. We'll see.
We'll see.
Because Monday is business time.
Yeah.
What are you about?
Yeah.
Do you walk the? You've talked the talk, and this is other movers and shakers. But can you walk the walk?
Well, you've moved and you've shaken,
Yeah.
but can you move and shake? Can you really move and shake?
Can you really? When the chips are down.
When the chips are down, when there's moving to be done, and
when there's moving to be
done.
shake and shaking to be done. Can you move and shake?
Yeah,
We'll find out today.
we will.
We've got a game plan.
Yeah, we do.
We want to capitalise on the moving and the shaking that was done.
Yep.
And try and move and shake our way to beyond where we are. Because
Yes.
you can never stay still.
No.
You can never stay still.
So the second you stay still,
You're going to get eaten alive.
well, you stop moving and shaking.
Exactly. If you stop moving and shaking, you fall over.
You fall over. It's done.
You get eaten alive.
You roll down the hill.
Yeah, you
The
roll
heap.
all the way down to the bottom.
To the very bottom.
And it's like when you're falling down a mountain, you can't get a hold.
No, well, inertia gets the better of you.
And
you
inertia just fucking rolls you to the bottom.
Yeah.
That's what can happen.
if you stop moving and shaking.
That's right.
Now, we had a good day on the punt as well, which
We
was
did.
like first horse of the day we got up, first race of the day, so we knew it was a good omen already.
850.
I have lost sleep over the fact we didn't load up. Of all the races we should have loaded up on, responsibly of course, but we had multiple tips from multiple people, and we decided that if we had matchups of D or Dave and someone else giving us tips for this race, and they both
If there was a marrying of the tips.
they both say the same one, we unleash the hounds onto the race.
Look, we should have. We went sort of. I think would we have 25-30 on it that first race?
Yes.
but it deserved 100.
It deserved 100. And again,
just to really
it was-
set the tone.
It was by no means when we say 100 are we like, big dick swinging. This was it was uncommon times required uncommon behaviours.
That's exactly right. We're in the Movers and Shakers
Lounge.
at the Movers and Shakers lunch,
Yes.
drinking fucking Verve for God's sake,
Drinking movers and shakers juice.
seated next to St. Peter Volandis. So sometimes you got to go a little off script.
Yeah.
$100 isn't my script.
No.
But I was prepared to go off script.
I was prepared to go off script for the day.
Now, you could say you two dickheads are dribbling. You didn't put 100 on, and that would be correct.
No,
we're
we
just
didn't.
saying we should have.
We should have. The fact that we're talking about it might infer to some people that we are far more movers and shakers than we are. Or than we were. We are now, obviously, movers and shakers of some note. Now we are dribbling. I almost let one rip. Realised I'm in a room full of friends. And I'm coming down off a weekend of highs. So it was a good day on the punt. It was nice. First race got up, and then a couple more over the course of the day.
Yeah, we had two others, I think.
But I think by and large, everything sort of worked. It was just win, 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 win. And then obviously we left, went to the pub, bumped into a couple of nice dribblers out there.
was a
Shout out
couple
to
of
those
nice
dribblers.
Yeah.
I was too high on life to remember their names. But they
I
were,
think you can be excused
yeah,
for that.
but they were nice. They were a nice gang of dudes.
Nice gang of dudes.
Listened to the show.
Sure, beautiful.
I think they had a courier service, so they listen to it when they're driving around.
Good on
which
you,
is-
boys.
You'll probably be listening to it now while you're driving around.
Good on you, boys.
And it's going to be a real meta situation where it's like you listen to the podcast, so you're now being spoken about in the podcast for the courier service that I don't remember, and the names of yours that I have forgotten.
I've forgotten all your names. Jack, maybe? Was there a Jack there?
That was a very safe call. It's a very safe call. Jack, Michael, Nick,
Cameron.
yeah, John,
Paul.
Dave,
Sam.
Chris,
Tom.
Eddie, Edward.
Are we close?
Yeah.
Peter.
Peter.
Have we nailed any of you?
I reckon we got at least
Mitch.
4 of them. Mitch.
Jason.
Nah, now you're getting a bit sort of.
Trent.
Nah, yeah. Again, not that these aren't real names, but they're not like the core fucking everyone's called those names we just said. Like 90% of the world, at least probably
Max.
white dudes, are called those names we just said. Max, James.
Michael.
Said Michael.
Have we?
Yeah.
Okay. But one of them.
Did we
right.
say Nick?
One of them's right.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I reckon about 4 of them. All right.
So congratulations.
Congratulations.
You've made it.
Anyway, I don't know if there was anything else on the PVL weekend from heaven.
Just a
front.
big thanks to St. Peter V'landys.
Yes, just a big thank you. That
A
was
huge
sick.
thanks.
We may as well announce it here. He doesn't know either, but we are inducting Peter into the Hello Sport 11. He's got a baggy green that's getting mailed to his fucking office.
Look, if you invite someone to the Movers and Shakers lunch, go out of your way to seat them next to you and then introduce you to the entire room while feeding you verve and oysters and fucking
Prawns,
one of the best tiramisus I've ever had.
Yeah, you took a photo of it.
Of course I did. And I sent it to my mate, Nick Mallett, who we call the tiramisu monster, such as his affinity to tiramisus. He's the best in the business.
He's the best in the business.
He's the best in the business. You better believe you're in the fucking Hello Sport 11.
Yeah.
If that's not a big lift, what is?
And by just having him there, everyone else who has a baggy green has now just like, if you weren't already proud to be in the side, now you're in a team with some PVL. Like, there's not many other. Who else can say that?
You're like tunnel buddies.
Sure.
Sort of.
Sort of. I mean, of sorts. You could say teammates, I guess.
You could.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, tunnel buddies and teammates are the same
I
thing.
guess you walk through the tunnel, don't you, to the field?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Finally, because obviously the plaque got us there. The plaque got us to the dance. That's right, I said dance. But the plaque was taken down. Now, Graham Hendricks or Hendricks. I know you would think it's Hendricks because that's more of your Peter, John, James sort of a last name. But I think it's Hendricks. He got us plaqued up. He's got a new one.
It's big. This thing's no
Big.
joke.
It's metal. Like, you bang on it. The thing is like solid steel.
This thing is no joke.
It's got Peter's head on it.
Now, did I see something in Punters and Dribblers of our friend, the Bobcat guy?
Bobcat man, I'm in contact.
He
with
looked
Bobcat
ready
man.
to go.
Yeah, no, he is ready to go.
He looked absolutely fucking primed.
Dude, he's like, him and the missus look like the Bonnie and Clyde.
Holy
Bobcat
shit,
couple,
I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I'm
They were like-
if anyone's going to get this thing done, it's those two.
Did you see the way they were sitting there? It's like he's holding a drill like a gun. She's wearing a P's and D's hat. It was like for both of them, it was like a really sexy
Yeah, it was fucking
P's
hot
and
as
D's
shit.
shot.
It was hot.
I got to try find that, dude. 'Cause
It was
that
really hot.
fucking good. So funny. There it is. Bunch of P's and D's posting photos of my dad on fucking. He does dress like Colonel Sanders. It's very funny, or at least he was in that one. Yeah, here we go. Matthew Jackson with the misso. Look at that. That is sexy as fuck. He's there with his bloody. What are those boots called? The Cuban boots. Jacko hard hat. He's drinking. Oh, is that a Bloody Mary?
It may as well be.
It may as well be. He's got a fucking power drill there.
It looks absolutely primed. That's got a fresh battery in it.
That does have a fresh battery, fully charged. The misso there, P's and D's hat. So, I mean, if ever there was going to be a couple that was going to get this plaque up there.
Yep. It's those two. Now, the plaque is quite big. So, I don't know if it's necessarily going to go on a bench.
I think we're going to give Jacko the opportunity to try and get it there. And
But
if it doesn't, then-
also, I'm allowing Jacko the freedom to think on his feet.
Yes. First port of call is the bench. If you can get on the bench, then the bench is perfect. If not, then you got to call an audible. You got to do something different. Jacko, that's fine. But I'd say potentially, let's say he goes down there and it doesn't fit on the bench, then bail, we reassess. Don't try and just slap dashery.
But look, but he can go a vibe.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you're trying to do it in one night and you get a bit nervous, you're hearing an owl hoot and a bloody what's that in the bushes, and you go, fuck it, we'll just whack it up here. And then before you know it, it's on something shit. And I just don't think that St. Peter deserves that.
No, I get you, but I'm also allowing him a little bit of freedom.
He's got some rope. You've got some rope, Jacko, but we'll talk. If you just can't fuck it up because it's all riding on you, bro. But Eddie, I think probably after, again, like I want to talk about the weekend for the rest of my life, but I think that we owe it to the P's and D's to maybe move on.
We could string this out though and keep going.
Yeah, we could.
We haven't told you everything that happened,
No, we haven't.
and I won't.
And no, we won't. And I've got to go to the toilet, so we are going to end it here. Sport coming up right after this. Well, let's just start with that, eh? Look, we've shared this video yesterday on our Instagram. I got it off. One of the dribblers got in touch with us, Cooper Burtonshaw or something. He shared it with us, and it was from a guy on Facebook who, I don't know if he was there, like he wasn't sort of like a sports page or something. It seemed like it was just something that he shared. Whose name, have you got it there? Just find the name. Can you just find the guy whose page it was? There. Brendan Tangles Nickel, who just seems like a dude who was there and he just shared it, but it's obviously gone psycho on his page as well. But I couldn't find him on Instagram to give him the old cred, so I just put it up there and mentioned his name. But it's of Dave Taylor of fucking most talented forward in NRL history fame.
Of Coltrane fame.
Of Coltrane fame, playing bush footy. I think it's like a Legends game. I think he's playing I think Petro was on the other team.
Yeah, it
Petro's
looked like
in
it
there.
was him, yeah.
And look, I mean, he's big, right? He's looking real big post career. It's not so much. Unfortunately, that's like sort of what everyone's talking about. I guess it's just hard not to, because he's still like fleet footed. He throws in a little deft chip kick here, and you're like, fuck, he's
Look at him.
skilled.
Look
Let
at
him
that.
go.
Look, the chip and
The
shave.
chip kick's like perfectly weighted as well, and he gets taken out. It looks like the game's a bit of a laugh, but. Like, as long as he's happy and doing his thing, like, who gives a shit? That's the main thing, right? But it is crazy to see.
But he was big beforehand.
Well, he's a big guy, man.
That's the thing.
He's
Like,
humongous.
he's fucking massive. Now that he's got the gut, it's like, holy shit. And the big ass. He's a big boy now.
He's a big, thick boy.
But to your point, to your credit, that chip kick's all class.
It was such a really good chip kick.
And
for a
it's the
big man.
tap and go as well that I really like.
And that's exactly
Look, he
how
backs himself.
But that's exactly how he played his footy
Look at
in
this.
the NRL.
Look, give me the nut. Give me the nut.
Quick tap, let me go. Bang. Quick tap.
Bang. He's
quick,
off.
Quick off the mark. Beautiful little chip kick. You know what? Someone should have been sent off for taking him out.
Yeah, well, they probably were.
Someone should have been. No, they weren't. The refs all just go back,
Oh,
play
they
on.
do too.
Dave's like, fuck. That was about to be a career highlight. And then Petro.
Give me the whistle, sir.
How old must Petro be now? Could you check that for us, Dave? How old do you reckon Petro is? 40?
I reckon Petro's 42.
Yeah, he's left the 30s though, right? We aren't in the same decade as Petro, surely.
He is 44.
Thank God.
44.
Thank God. Imagine if he's 39.
I know.
38 or
How old's
something.
Dave Taylor?
He'd be 39.
I'd say Dave Taylor would be 34, 35,
Really?
max. Dave Taylor could still be playing NRL.
Jeez, there's a lot of bloody Dave Taylors around.
We'll go Dave Taylor Rugby
yeah,
League.
1988. He's 32.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Dave Taylor.
He's your age.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Still,
Would you
probably-
say 88?
Yeah,
88.
He's 1 year
You're
older than me. But so like I think that's one of the things with Dave, where it's like people are like he was for whatever reason, right? Like who knows? But like he had all the talent in the world, and he just like he didn't live up to it. He played Origins, he played for his country, but like because of how talented he was, and because of the fact he's only 32, 33, like he could still be doing it. He could still be doing it, but obviously he didn't want to, and that's fine.
In my mind, it feels like he was playing 10 years ago. I know that's not right.
Well, no, probably.
Well, no, he was.
10
He-
years ago, he would have been 22.
He debuted for the Broncos in 06 and played there till 09.
Okay, so I am sort of right.
Yeah, well, you definitely are. In fact, he's more than that. Like,
Because he would have been at Souths 10 years ago, which is
Yeah.
why he was...
But you know what I mean? Until I saw that video, I'd thought about Dave for a long time.
yeah.
He last
Like,
played
he just sort of fucking disappeared.
He last played in 2017. He played 11 games for the Raiders.
It's
So
something-
4 years ago.
Yeah.
There's something that when people talk about like so a couple of years ago the photo came out or a video of Dave came out and they're playing it on the footy show, and again Dave's looking thick as fuck, and then Aaron and they were like saying, you know, oh geez, he's a big boy, look at him now, and there was this massive outrage of like fat shaming and shit, and it was like it just seems like those things where you go, can we shut the fuck up here? Like, there in every walk of life, people are like, you can make jokes about anything. Think about when someone goes, oh, you're batting overs. Basically what you're saying to me is I'm ugly and my partner is hot, right? But I'm having a bit of a joke. It's sort of like, and also when you're batting overs, it's like you can't help being ugly. Like that's your life. If you're a fat motherfucker, like that is actually something that you can change. You can get back. We've seen bloody Tyson Furies of the world get fat as fuck and come back. These lighthearted jokes about Dave's, you know, again, a video like this of Dave going online and everyone talking about it and sharing it, going, look how fat Dave is, which is not what we shared. We were like, the Coltrane still got it because he's throwing chip kicks and, you know. obviously you don't want people to be mean to him, but also like there's an element in terms of the world of where it's like, if people are just sort of having a good-natured ribbing, I don't know if it's that big of a deal. And then when it comes to fat shaming, it's almost like you can't be honest about the health implications of a lifestyle choice. Dude, don't shame me for fucking... No one's shaming you, dude, but like if you're fucking gigantic...
Look, your heart's not happy about it.
No. Big is beautiful. Yeah, I'm sure it is. But also, like, you'll get heart disease or diabetes or... Again, and I'm not a picture of health, and this is sort of taken a turn. But it was more just because I was sharing the video going like... Some people are going to be like going, oh, you're fucking just, you're taking shots at this bloke. Like, I hope he's okay. Didn't he? Like, 100%. Like, I'm not trying to fucking bag him out.
But that wasn't the angle. The
He's
angle
140 kilos and he's throwing chip kicks like an absolute weapon.
He could be more. He could be 170. And he's gone the chip kick and he's gone the deft little fucking quick and tap and go. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Shout out to Coltrane.
Shout out to Coltrane.
Shout out to big men everywhere.
Can you stop Auntie Donna playing?
Oh shit, sorry, I didn't realise that autoplayed.
With the greatest respect, just like they're obviously killing it, Auntie Donna.
No idea what that is.
There are elements of them that are funny, but most of the things I just don't get it. And that's fine. That's what comedy is. It's subjective, but I just don't get it.
Maybe not American enough.
It's an Australian comedy.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
There you go. I've got no idea what it is.
Anyway, some other things in rugby league.
Yeah.
Less Coltrane related, but shout out to the Coltrane.
Shout out to him. He looked fucking great.
He did look good.
He looked happy.
Yeah, he did. He looked like he's out there playing his footy, enjoying himself.
Enjoying himself. Yeah, he might have got KFC on the way home, but fuck, who doesn't?
And on the way to the game.
Who doesn't?
Hey, exactly.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? Wrap and rolls. He'd love a wrap and roll. I love a wrap and roll.
He'd go the double.
Yeah, a fucking oath he would if he knows what's good for him. You don't want to have that bloody nightmare of... I actually did have a problem with the wrap and roll. I thought I actually ordered it multiple times and only one... Like, I was like, did I order this? And again, I was a bit pissed. I was like... I haven't done the double order again, have I? I'm pretty sure I haven't. What I did realise, though, was I did say leave at the door. So now I think I've got a case to take to Uber Eats because the motherfucker didn't leave it at the door. That 2 weeks ago problem.
Well, he might have, but someone else might have been like, ooh.
No, where our apartment is, like, the way you've been to our place,
Yeah.
like, there's no one's just walking past.
I mean, he might have left it up the top.
Well,
He should have left it at the door,
That's
though.
not the door, bros.
Yeah.
It's not the door. Uber Eats, I'm coming. Anyway. So last week... as always is the case, Eddie, it usually happens about 40 minutes after we finish recording the podcast. A big story will break that we won't be able to cover.
Yep. Happens all the time.
All the time, every week.
It's our curse.
Yes.
If we were to have one, that would be
That
it.
would be the curse.
Everything else, we're blessed.
Yes.
We're blessed
We're
everywhere.
blessed.
We count blessings for a living. But that is a curse of ours, you could argue. Now, Israel Folau, it's come out that he wants to come back to God's Game Rugby League. What a surprise.
Well, it's God's game. He's God's man.
Well, yeah. Depends which way you want to look at
Yeah,
it.
well, not the God we recognise.
No.
The God of rugby league loves gay people.
But he wants to come back from his self-appointed, in some ways, exile from these shores.
It was of his own fault.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, it was put on him by other people, but he did it himself.
Yes.
To himself.
Yes.
He's out of the country, wants to come back. Now,
Join the Dragons.
St. George Dragons of letting go of their best player fame.
Cam McInnes to their biggest rival in the Sharks fame. And the St. George Dragons of coached by Anthony Griffin of apparently Sky News obsessed fame and doesn't care too much about, Israel's views fame.
Look, they come out and they've said they want to sign him. Now, there was a lot of like, is that possible? Are the NRL going to greenlight this? Is this potentially just a complete cover-up of the Cameron McInnes fuck up and they're just trying to divert attention?
Yeah,
no one seemed to know.
The size of the bed shit of letting Cam McInnes go, and then it's like, oh, but we're also trying to get Israel Folau. It's like, oh god, what a shit show this is. If you're a Dragons fan, obviously things are already tough enough for you because you're a fan of a dirty merger club. But like, if you're,
but more than that, you've just been so shit for so long.
But then to have them come out and be like, oh yeah, no, our best player's going, and Tyson Frizzell's gone, and now Cam McInnes is going, and then you're trying to get Israel Folau back. You're like, what is this rabble shit show that's going on there?
It's a rabble.
It's a complete rabble. And then it was almost like they tried to put it on the NRL to make the decision, where it was like, where they aren't coming out and expressly saying they want him, but it's like everyone's talking about it and they want him, and it's like, they kind of need to wait for the NRL to say yes or no, and it's like the NRL's going like, fucking,
Put an application in.
Bros, make up your mind. Do you want to try sign him or not? We know we're not going to let him back in, but have a crack.
Yeah.
And then eventually, after the sort of the uproar, it was like, no, fucking, we don't want him. So, sorry.
Yeah, well, they had a board meeting and, you know, there was a lot of negative feedback from the community, Tom, from the members and from the sponsors. And on top of all of that, the NRL would have been like, nah, bruh.
Now, I think it's worth just sort of like just wading into the murk a little bit on this one, in that a lot of the Fox Sports journos or the Men's Women's Weekly journos of Kenty Hoops fame, all that sort of stuff.
Hooper wrote a passionate
piece about basically, you know,
passionate piece is how I describe
the
it.
snowflakes and people, the PC brigade ruining sport. I think Kenty did something similar. But when you see something like Payne Haas or your Matt Lodges, like what Folau's saying, right, about gay people is fucking horrible, and the effect it can have on young kids who are struggling with their sexuality is horrible. The suicide rate in young gay kids is fucking humongous, which is, again, horrible. But I can understand how there are some dribblers out there who are going, why is he not allowed to come back and play? Like, they may not even share his views, but it's like, why is he not allowed to come back and play, but we can have Matt Lodge of Rikers Island fame and Payne Haas, who hasn't been punished yet, but of kind of threatening a female cop fame in a drunken sort of, you know, like situation like a couple of weeks ago where he's like, just what, you think you're a woman because I won't touch her? That was like one of the scariest, most fucking hectic things I've seen quoted, where I'm like, oh my God. And especially knowing how humongous Payne Haas is. And
Yeah, it's frightening stuff.
Like, but and then someone like Israel who's sharing his views of a religion that is almost widely accepted and entrenched within Australian society to one degree or another. Like, he is just sharing the views of the religion that is acknowledged in Parliament, where they'll fucking, you know, say like a prayer at the start of everything. Like, I can see how people are confused by that. I can allow myself to be confused by it myself, but I'm also like, you know what the fuck's going on here, bro?
No, I think you can allow yourself to be confused by it. I think with Israel, though, he's left his views up there. He's doubled down. Like, you know, Matt Lodge and shit, as fucked up as what they did, you know, was, he's repented, or he's tried to at least, you know what I mean?
For his sins. Let's use religious iconography.
He's tried to repent for his sins, whereas Israel's like, fuck that, I don't give a shit. Yes. Now, for better or worse, like, you know, anti-homophobic or homophobic slurs and shit are just not accepted. And the sponsors, you know, as we've seen with rugby union, fucking detest that sort of shit, right? And so it's just a bad look, full stop. And I think that's why, you know, it's easy for the league and for rugby union shit to go, fuck off, mate. We're not going to stand for it.
No.
Because it's top of the list of issues for people at the moment.
Which is interesting, though, when you think about it, the fact
it just happens to be, right?
Yes. But that's I think more to the point is what some people are like. I think even Willie Mace Mason of Mace fame, he said, like, there are some real pieces of shit playing rugby league right now. And
I agree with him. It's confusing.
Yeah.
Fucking oath it is.
Yeah.
I just think they need to fucking sweep all of them out, really.
Yeah. I think maybe there's, I guess if you're talking about Folau,
there shouldn't be double standards.
But what he's sort of doing, right? Like, so let's say you've got your Matt Lodges of New York Rampage fame.
Yeah.
That is obviously that's a crime with victims, the family, all that sort of shit. But beyond that, it's that's sort of where it ends. Whereas Folau's words and the fact that it's all still up there,
it's lingered.
It's more, but it's also more. Is pervasive the word? Like it's the ability for it to spread and to hit people that he's never met before, and to affect people that are never. And like again, when we're talking about suicide of young kids and shit, like there's probably far more scope for that to be damaging.
I think
even
so.
though it's not as overtly.
Because you're hitting like a group of people.
Yes.
In its entirety, as opposed to Matt Lodge affecting the lives of.
An unsuspecting New York family.
Yeah.
It's not
which is fucked. Yeah. But, you know, if you're doing the numbers thing.
That's like an isolated incident. This is like, he hasn't even said he won't say that shit again, has he?
No.
But the other thing is, and look, we may have talked to some heavy hitters over the weekend, And the opinion, and of some there was that once you let him in, you can't get rid of him. Like, look at rugby union. The numbers thrown around were, what was it, 12 million to get rid of him?
But like, as in, I think it was like with rugby union, it was like cost of legal fees as well as paying him out. It was like
it was like close to 12 million.
Yeah, so basically like 12 years of TV rights deals for rugby union just to get him out.
Literally down the shitter,
Yeah.
just to get him out. And I think rugby league doesn't need that. Like if you bring him back and he starts fucking going
Spouting
off again,
shit.
like his old man might all be part of his grand plan. Let's
Yeah.
get you back to rugby league, so we've got another platform, and we fucking go again. And we double down
But also,
and we rip.
Rugby league does not need Fallout. Like,
Fuck
it's,
no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just doesn't. It's like,
Mate, there's so many alpha males in rugby league as it stands.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't move the needle he does, but
Not
he's
like
not.
he used to.
He's not a top 10 player
not
in rugby
like he
league.
used to- he would be, I reckon.
Do you reckon? I don't know if he would.
Well, look, who knows? But in rugby union, he was a fucking weapon, right?
No, he was. I'm
Yeah.
saying if he comes back, I don't think he's top 10.
I think he probably is. I think he could definitely, like, he was a generational talent, but it's the fact that rugby league constantly produces thrower after throbber, where it's like, when you left rugby league, Tommy Turbo wasn't a thing. Now, Tommy Turbo's a thing, or fucking James Tedesco's a thing, or, I'm forgetting a shitload of them. Cameron Munster. Like, you've just...
Pappenhausen.
Pappenhausen.
Kalen Ponga.
Kalen Ponga. Like...
Things.
Josh
Things.
Papali chasing down fullbacks.
Josh Papali, Tino Fa'asuamalaawis,
Tamalolo.
Tamalolo.
All these boys weren't fucking throwing their big weapons
No,
around.
and then it's like you've come back and it's like, bro, he actually
Cameron Munster.
said him, but that's all right. You got a short memory.
Jake
It's been a big
Trbojevic.
weekend. Jake Trebojevic, Ben Trebojevic, who I heard was fucking training in the back row, Eddie.
He can play in the back row.
Fuck.
Of course he can.
Of course he can.
Play centers, you can play in the back row, you can play wherever the fucking one.
versatility gets me wet, but that's not what we're talking about. Basically, rugby league doesn't need him.
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't need him. The game is, despite COVID, in spite of COVID, as good as it's ever been.
I think the Dragons kind of need him more than rugby league.
Oh, Dragons need
The
everything.
Dragon
Yeah.
they need a facelift, bro.
Do you know,
They need
they've lost this year? I just got this list up. So apart from Cam McInnes
good Dioring.
and Tyson Frizzell, they've lost Ewan Aitken, James Graham, Isaac Luke, Tim Laffey, Corbin Sims, Tristan Saylor, and Jacob Hurst.
Where's Corbin Sims gone?
I'll have a look.
Who in God's name have they signed? Are they going to be able to field a team?
They've only signed Jack Bird, Daniel Alvaro, and
Jack Bird
Poasa
of no Hemis left fame.
No, not hammies, of ACLs.
ACLs and
shoulders
shits, yeah.
But Jack Bird, if he gets right, is good.
Corbin Sims going to Hull
Big
Kingston
if.
Rovers.
Really? I think Corbin Sims is better than Super League.
The Sims like Super League.
They do.
They do.
They do.
They've got a real affinity for Super
They're
League
a proud
football.
Super League family.
They are.
They are.
They love it. They're rugby league royalty as a family.
Oh, absolutely. They're rugby league royalty.
But they do have an affinity, a soft spot, you might say, for Super League rugby league.
Well, oldest brother Ashton of oldest brother fame.
Oh, he's been playing a
He
trade there for a
He
decade.
was over in the Super League for fucking ever. He might have retired now.
I don't think so. I think he'd be
Speaking of chin ponies, he had a good chin pony.
He did have a chin pony.
But Corbin now over there. Interesting. Who the fuck do the Dragons have? No one. With the greatest respect.
What's their? Can you get up a predicted
Yeah.
13 for round one?
They are very close to my spoon faves.
Right, so Fox Sports have him with Matt Duffy at fullback,
Yep.
Cody Ramsey and Jordan Pereira on the wings, Zach
Mm.
Lomax and Max Feeguy, haven't heard of him, in the centres, Jack Bird and Adam Clune in the halves, Paul Vaughan, Blake Laurie front row, Ben Hunt at hooker. They still got Tarek Sims in the second row with Jackson Ford. Well, they had Cam McInnes at 13 here, but he's gone now.
No, he's still there. He's leaving end
Oh,
of the
20,
year.
yeah, right, okay. Then their bench, Tyrell Fuiamono, Cade Ellis, Josh Kerr, and Poasa Farmasuli.
So a couple of household names there.
There's a couple of household names, not many, if any.
Yeah, it was a joke.
Yeah, I know it is. I know. I get that. Weird. I mean, yeah, the Dragons have just always. I mean, it'd be tough to be a Dragons
Well,
fan.
they still have Corey Norman. Where's he at? Is he
He's.
injured or
I think
something?
they're re-signing Corey.
Is he injured though? I don't know why they haven't got him in the 13.
Well, if they haven't, then it's Fox saying that he's not good enough to play. But they re-signed him for like 2 more years, I thought, or for 3 years or something. For like it was like a $2 million deal or some shit.
Didn't say that.
No, but maybe it was that they were talking about it. I just saw an article somewhere saying that they were. Hook was pleased with how he'd been training apparently training the house down.
Well, that's what you want to see, Tom. You know, if I run an eye over my cattle, I need to see them training the house down.
I want to see collapsed houses everywhere.
Yeah, you got to train the house down, shake the foundations.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about.
I want earthquakes galore.
Yeah. Give me earthquakes, boys.
Yeah.
Give me earthquakes.
Train the house down. But yeah, back to Payne Haas of fucking intimidating young gentleman fame.
Payne's quickly becoming a fucking handful, isn't he?
Yeah, and so for those who don't know, Payne...
An off-field handful.
Yeah, he's already an on-field.
He's already an on-field handful.
But Payne got drunk. He was drunk with his missus, somewhere pregnant missus maybe, and they were having an argument, and the cops came, and there's a transcript of all the shit that he said. Dave, get it up maybe. But the cops trying to either get his ID or something, and it was just like, you know, when you see when you see the sort of things like that that the police have to deal with, not that I didn't already have respect for police, but you're like... And it's just kind of like crazy to think of like some of the shit they have to go through where...
The transcript doesn't make for good reading.
No.
It's fucking wild stuff.
It doesn't make for good reading. It doesn't make for like, oh, you know, they were treating Payne badly and he was just G'ing up. It's like, no, you are being like a real piece of shit and very hard to deal with and aggressive as hell.
Really aggressive.
And
if you go off the transcript. Which is
and
all we got.
But also it's like he's been in trouble before. He's 20 years old. He's been in the NRL for like 2 and a bit years maybe, and you've already had 2 pretty fucking legit like dramas off field. One was where he lied to the integrity unit or refused to speak to him about a brawl at a fucking park footy game.
Yeah, what was that one about? Was he protecting his mate or something?
His family or his mate
family,
or
something like that.
And then this one where it's like, at one point he says to a female cop, "What are you looking at? Because you're a woman, you don't think I'll touch you."
Plus, wasn't there the one earlier in the off season where he gate crashed a party?
No, that was
him.
No, that was for
Was that Fifita, right?
And he had keys to the city. I think everyone forgot that was that when David signed with the Titans,
they gave him keys
keys to the city, so he was actually allowed to go wherever he wanted. Yeah. They just didn't think. And the thing's been dropped. He's fine.
Well, that's because he had the keys to the city.
Keys to the city, which is what we said.
That's
what
we
the
said
fuck
at the
are we
start.
talking about? He's got the keys to the goddamn
But if
city.
Payne said that to you, I would go, all right, I'm going home.
Yeah.
Thanks
sorry,
for coming,
not
Payne.
worth it.
Look, Payne, you carry on, mate. You do you.
You do whatever you
I'm
need
going
to do.
home.
I'm out.
I'm going home for a shower.
Here's my badge and my gun.
I'm going to go home. I'm going to run a nice bath.
Yeah.
I'm going to put on some music. I'm going to have a glass of
wine.
wine, and I'm just going to fucking de-stress. Because if you think I'm taking you on, bro, you've got fucking rocks in your head.
I don't need this shit.
And I also don't trust my taser.
No,
You're too big. I don't trust this thing. I'm not killing you either. It's not worth it.
I'm not killing you. My taser probably doesn't have enough voltage.
I don't think it's got enough voltage. Did I charge it? Is it charged?
But also, you're the biggest, thickest man we've ever seen in rugby league, and you're probably only going to get bigger and thicker because you're like fucking 20 years old.
He's not done getting bigger and thicker.
No, he's
not done. He's not even close to done.
What's my taser going to do? Absolutely fuck all. And you're up for it. Like he's not. I'm not tasering an unsuspecting Payne here. He's ready to rip.
He'd rip it out
Yeah.
and he'd go at you. And then there's also, just based on the transcript, Tom, say you taser him, say you get him down.
If anything, the taser.
I don't think he takes that well.
No,
I
he
think
doesn't, no.
he goes home and stews.
Yeah,
I think he finds out where you live.
He doesn't respond well to that sort of, I guess, commandeering of him taking him down.
I think the taser kind of charges him up even more as well. He just feels the volts and he's like, now I'm even more hyped.
Maybe
up.
it charges him up.
Does he go Super Saiyan? He might.
He might go Super Saiyan Payne, and then you're in real trouble.
If you've got Super Saiyan Payne on your hands, fucking good luck. Go home, run the bath.
And the thing is, he's quick.
Don't bother.
He's quick.
Of course he's quick.
So, like, you need to, the time that you've got to get from your little interaction with Super Saiyan Payne to the car, you think that you're quicker than Payne Haas?
I'll give you the hot tip. You're not quick enough to get to your taser or your gun.
Or your gun or your car. So what you need to do is get in the car and drive away. I'll remind some punters and dribblers of Terminator 2 Judgment Day, where the T-1000 is chasing down the car, and then he hooks onto the car with his metal hands, and like they got to get him off. That's what it'd be like trying to drive away from Haas. He'd be fucking coming at you in the rear vision mirror.
Particularly if he's gone Super Saiyan.
Almost exclusively Super Saiyan. If he pre-Super Saiyan, he'd be close, but I don't know. Like he definitely catches you if you try and fill him with electricity.
If he gets in front of your car's not going to move anymore.
No. That's it. Unstoppable force, immovable object. Payne wins.
Look, in a roundabout way, what we're trying to say is
Not worth it.
not worth it.
If you're a cop, not worth it.
In this situation, I don't think the juice is ever going to be worth the squeeze.
No.
That's my opinion. Very expensive juice if you decide to squeeze it.
Dude, very expensive. That's like cold pressed, fucking.
Forget cold press, bro. This is like really high end.
high end, but like small bottle.
Tiny.
Tiny
100
bottle.
mils.
Yeah, yeah. And
You paid
it's like-
$30 for 100 mils of juice.
Yeah.
Shit, was that juice
Was
worth
that
the
juice worth
squeeze?
it? Well, not really, because I'm actually blind in one eye now and I walk with a limp.
Yeah.
But Payne, to his credit, and again, I guess this is where it's different with Folau and all that sort of shit. He came out and apologised. He seems like he's. I heard someone else say, right, like this is just to provide another side of the coin for someone who's acting like a complete psychopath, like Payne was. His upbringing was pretty rough by the sounds that both parents went to jail. I think I read somewhere. There is a level of understanding or at least empathy I think you have to give with people where it's like, I can't imagine what it'd be like. I got no fucking bearing.
No, I get
got
that.
no bearing on it. Now, that doesn't mean you allow these people to behave this way. And at some point, you have to rise above your upbringing. But that's very easy for me to say when, you know, comparatively to Payne, I've had the Jim Jam life, right?
That's right. The other thing I'll say about Payne versus Folau, Payne, you know, and Lodge are doing this when they're running hot, when they're running super sane.
Yeah, when they're
you know
going
what I mean?
super
And
sane.
sometimes their rage gets the better of them.
Yeah, like us all.
Like assault. Whereas Israel things like more cold and calculated,
Yeah.
where he's like, fuck that. I'm writing this shit. I know it's going to offend people, but fuck, I'm putting it up
I'm
there
going
anyway.
anyway.
Please don't do that. Please take it down. Nah. Please take it down. Nah. Please
Yeah.
take it down. Nah.
Yeah.
You're offending people. Nah. We're going to sack you. You know what I
still doing
mean?
it. Yeah, yeah.
Fuck you. Now I'm going to sue you. I'm going to get my 12
Yeah.
million. Like,
Yeah.
There's something really fucking dark about
You
it.
can't
Like
even
Israel can have
blame
his own thoughts, but they were just like, please just don't put it on Instagram. You know what I
And
mean?
he's like, no, fuck you. I'm going to do it anyway.
yeah.
You can't even blame being drunk.
No, exactly.
That's my point.
Yeah.
He's a cold motherfucker in some respects.
Yeah.
But
Whereas
did you-
the
did
Payne
you-
and
Yeah.
Lodge-
Did you hear about Payne Haas? Apparently, he's come out and said that he was kind of in a bad headspace and he was drinking heavily because of his brother's death,
I did see
which
that.
wasn't too recently, but also
Look, I did see that, but I
yeah.
just also think there is also an element, which again, like I thank the Lord St. Peter Volandis that I haven't gone through any of the shit Payne's gone through, right? Lost family members, all that sort of shit. But I bet there are people who have lost family members who go like, well, I didn't do that. Like, I'm not behaving like that. These things don't excuse your behavior. They certainly make you be able to empathize more with like someone's, you know, but it's not like
They're
you're not gonna-
mitigating circumstances.
Mitigate, but it's like if he touched up that female cop, it's not like people can go, oh, well, his brother passed away recently and he was having a tough time. It's like, yeah, that sucks, dude. That's really horrible, but you can't go super sane on people. Like, that's just not the way the world works.
Well, luckily he didn't.
Luckily, he didn't. And again, like, he's got to learn from. I think he's probably going to get suspended for saying that shit to the cop. That's just me. Like, I don't think you just slide back in the NRL and go like, sorry.
Give him a game.
I'd be giving him more than a game, dude. You cannot like that.
I reckon they'll give him a game.
I reckon they'll give him more. I reckon he should be gone for. I don't know if this is extreme. I'm just sort of thinking about how fucking ice cold it was what he said, and I get he was hammered, but like that doesn't matter. Oh, my mate's a good bloke, but he's pissed. It's like, no, well, then he's just probably a dickhead. Like, you can't say that shit.
Yeah, I get you.
So, mate, I'd be going. I don't know how many. Like, kind of within reason, I'd be like, yeah, that's pretty fair. Like, if they suspend him for 2 months, I'd be like, yep, like 8 games.
Nah, that's too much.
apparently he's looking at $20,000 fine as well as a suspension.
Yeah.
How long's the suspension?
It doesn't say, but it says he will be suspended and cop a fine of over 20,000.
Yep.
It's a chunk of change.
Well, when Mitchell Pearce is getting fucking what did he get like 120 grand for fucking a dog?
12
You're going
weeks or
like,
something.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, good point. That's a good point. That's context. That was one of the most outrageous
That is the-
fucking
yeah,
things
yeah.
I've ever seen in my
That
life.
is-
PS.
Yeah,
that
that is-
was ridiculous.
that
What
was
do you get? 12 weeks? Are you serious?
Listen, but Mitch was a serial,
yeah,
but that was
even
ridiculous.
still.
I know.
And they're fucking RSPCA on the blower and shit. I'm like, bruh, come on.
Yeah, that dog's fine.
That dog's sweet.
That
Like,
dog was not that dog.
That dog wasn't penetrated on. Let me say that.
It was no Joel Monahan's dog.
He didn't penetrate that dog.
No, dude.
Let's not stop saying he did.
No, let's not pretend like there was anything going on there other than a bit of tomfoolery.
It
with
was
a poodle.
It was tomfoolery with a poodle. But with that in mind, I think Payne's looking at fucking. He's looking at 5, isn't he? He's looking at 5 weeks. He's looking at a month.
Man, I reckon like you just have to drum it into their fucking heads that it's not appropriate. But also, And again, this is a conversation we were having on the weekend. It's like the vast majority of players in the great game of all, rugby league, are all like decent, normal human beings. It's just
Gentlemen? Is gentlemen too much?
No, gentlemen. Vast majority are gentlemen, but there are a few in there that sort of unfortunately, and because of how scat some of the things are they do, but also how bizarre some of the things are that they do, a la holes of glory, they it's hard not to be sort of tarred and feathered with the same brush, but it's unfair. But
Mostly gentlemen.
mostly gentlemen.
Where are we with rugby league?
I think we are probably done for this week, Eddie. Just trying to think if there's anything we missed.
The rugby league fights this weekend.
Thank you, Dave. Now I hope there's betting markets for this because
There will be. 100%.
I hope so. 'Cause
Why
I
wouldn't
wanna-
there be?
Well, I don't know because it's like charity things and like
Mate, you can punt today on what colour the fucking
Gatorade's
going to be that gets poured on the coach. You don't think you can punt on some rugby league biffs?
I hope so. Now, Dave,
Tom.
get the biffs up, please.
Yeah. All right. We got. I'll put them up here. But Thaiday versus Mason.
It's funny because like Mason's bigger, but I
like
think
Thaiday. I like Thaiday because...
Is this a checky bet? Are we throwing
This is
these?
a checky. This is a checky. I like Thaiday because I just think that he's got a fuckload of mongrel in him.
Yeah, and I feel is he like Willie's been longer retired than Thaiday.
Willie's been out of the game for a long time.
Been partying on boats and stuff.
Yeah,
for a while.
but then again, Thaiday doesn't exactly look like he's in comeback, Nick. So who knows?
I
But
still feel Thaiday for some reason.
Yeah.
But Willie's so big and rangy.
that's the thing. But
How tall is Thaiday? And how tall is Mason?
Mason would be 6'4", at least.
With long arms.
Yeah.
I'm maybe going back to Mason.
Yeah.
Willie Mason's 195 centimeters.
That's big.
That is big.
Sam Thaiday 181.
See,
Okay.
Thaiday's shorter than me.
Yeah, he's shorter than us.
I'm going Mason.
Let's
That's
go
a
Mace.
massive
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
height
yeah,
disparity,
yeah.
bro. That's fucking huge.
All right, we'll go Mace. Now, Justin Hodges, Sandorel. We all saw Justin get absolutely fucking folded by Darcy Lussick, of former Manly star fame and of Battle of Brookvale fame.
I'm going Shandor.
I'm going Sandorel because he's younger, he's hotter, he's fitter, and Hodges is none of those things.
Prince Carney's a ripper.
Now, do you remember when Carney fought Chrissy Sandow? That was one of the great fucking horseshit fights of all time. Like, it was dribbler central. It was just swinging wildly. If you believe what Carney says, he's been training the house down for this one, wants it to be a different fight. Scotty Prince, older.
But more calculated.
Well, he's a half. Well, Chrissy Sandow's a half, but he was a wild man as a half. So maybe this is a little
Todd's
bit more.
a half as well. You're
This
talking
is-
about a half back.
I'm saying Scotty Prince might be a little more calculated than Chrissy Sandow.
Oh, I think so.
Was.
Scott Prince just feels like a bit of a professional.
Yeah.
Consummate.
Todd Carney, though, is covered in tattoos. Now, this has got to be... What sort of lighting are we talking about here? Is this...
Oh, bro, this is like 20 watt.
This is 20-watt bulb stuff, right?
Mate, honestly, it'll be hard to see him.
Yeah.
People ringside are going to have to get their phones out and fucking shed a bit of light on this thing.
This has got to be the greatest night in Australian fighting history.
Easily.
The night of nights.
February 12th at Townsville Entertainment and Convention Centre.
I'm upset that we didn't work out a way to get cage side for this, because this is, again, like, this will go down in history as one of the great nights. Mango's fighting!
Yeah, dude.
Mango and Craig Gower. That's fight of the night for me. That's fight of the night. Mango and Gowie has to be fight of the night.
Yeah. Listen to that, punters and dribblers. Mango and Craig Gower of... He's got some fucking wild yarns, that cunt. Holy shit. We've all heard it, haven't we? We've all heard it.
Mango against Craig is going to be an absolute...
I'm going
barn
Mango
burner.
because he's in his own backyard.
Yeah, I'm
which
going
counts
Mango.
for something.
It does. Well, he's used to the heat, the Townsville heat. Craig
We
Gower...
haven't settled on Prince and Carney.
Sorry, we haven't. I think Todd, because of the age.
Do you reckon? Okay.
But, I mean, I just haven't seen Scotty Prince get into it. I don't know, though.
I feel like Todd Carney could take a punch better than Scott Prince could take a punch.
Then Scotty's a tough Queenslander.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just... I just feel like Scott Prince will be like a full-on dark horse who just comes out. Like he might know how to throw. We know what Carney's capable of.
True. And
Not
it wasn't,
much.
No, it wasn't great. What we saw of Carney wasn't great. So I guess just from like a safety perspective, you're probably better off just going Scotty. All right, let's go Scott. I'm with you, Scott. And then we go on Mango over Craig.
Yeah.
Of check his Wikipedia Gower fame. Mango, Junior Paulo, Neville Costigan. Now, this is a big boy session, this one. I think Junior Paulo has it because Neville's older, but again, Neville could be one of those hard. It's tough with rugby league, right? Like
Junior Paulo looks like a fucking straight up psychopath though.
he does, and he fought Gallen and was good. Like didn't get.
No, I'm going Junior.
Same, but it's just one of those things where like if you know when you see like blokes fight on a footy field and you're like, oh, I didn't realize how violent that man was underneath sort of the exterior, but like once he lets his hands go,
Yeah.
he's terrifying.
Yeah.
So we're going to go with Junior, though. Neville, we haven't seen enough of you, bruh, and you're older. Josh Papali, Ben Hannett. Again, you have to go with the professional footy player at this point, don't you? Ben, long time retired. He's got like 400 kids. He's got to be tired. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? It'd be hard to maintain the energy when you are...
Maintain the rage.
Maintain the rage when you have 40 kids, right?
I don't think so.
So I think Papali. All right, so let's wrap this up into a checky bet. We're going Willie Mason to beat Thaiday, Sandor to beat Hodges, Scotty Prince to beat Carney, Mango to beat Craig Gower, Paulo to beat Costigan, and Papali to beat Hannett.
That's right. What happened to the Australian?
No, so there is also
Justice
the main
Honey?
event. Yeah,
Is Justice Honey
Justice
fighting?
Honey's fighting James Porter in the main event.
Bzzz, the honeybees. Who's James Porter?
Never heard of him.
Boxer. I'll find out.
So is he going to be main event, Justice?
Yeah, that's the main event. Yeah.
Sick.
Not James
Don't
Porter,
you
the
love it?
Catholic priest.
Dude, Friday. I'm going to get this pay-per-view.
It
Definitely.
looks like he's an MMA fighter, James Porter.
Well, it looks like he's not going to be around for long in that fucking fight then.
Got some stats of his up here.
What's
Fuck, he's jacked, dude.
135 pounds?
He's 5'5".
Bro, he'll get fucking killed.
What the fuck?
Are you sure?
I mean, there's got to...
This doesn't make sense.
He's 5'5", so 160 centimeters, 61 kilos and heavyweight? I don't think that's correct.
It can't be. He's also from the
7
States.
wins, 5 losses.
There must be two fighters.
James Porter.
7 wins, 5 losses, 0 knockouts.
This isn't him. This isn't him. It can't be. Go James Porter, Australian boxer. Surely not.
Bro, he's 61 kilos. Justice Honey would have 60 kilos on him. He's half the size.
5'5".
Yeah, no way.
Hang
No
on,
way.
Yeah. It hasn't got a lot on this James Porter guy, but this...
Mate, it'd be hard to
Oh,
try and
it's
stick
got
around
it's got
in
his
your
record
career,
and
right?
stuff here.
What's his record?
Hang on.
Justice Honey, JPH.
Yeah, former Queensland Cruiserweight champion. There you go. So they're not the same.
Record 10 wins, 5 knockouts, 6 losses. Age 38, right? This is Plumber Central here.
Yeah,
Like,
height 182.
reach. So how height, reach.
Justice Honey's a lot bigger.
Yeah, he is. And what's this? 2 wins, 2 knockouts. I mean, yeah, it's not exactly like Justice
He's
Honey.
also 38.
That's what I'm saying, right? They've thrown like an aging plumber. Like this guy's almost bringing on apprentices at this point.
They
He's so
love
old as
it,
a
mate.
plumber.
They love it. And I love it. We love it.
It's the best. It's the best. Justice not as large as I thought he was.
No.
193 is obviously big, but it's not that big. But it's a lot bigger than fucking James Porter. Friday, February 12. Clear the schedule.
Oh, all right, hang on. So James Porter here, this will tell you all you need to know. Just look at the venues of his previous fights.
Love this. Okay, Boxing Event Centre, West Burleigh. Mantra View Hotel, Surfers Paradise. Queensland Coast Hotel, Surfers Paradise. Mansfield Tavern. This is the lighting in these places would be fucking atrocious.
The Gold Coast Turf Club, the Sky City Convention Centre, the Gold Coast Turf Club, Jupiter's Hotel and
Love
Casino,
it.
Broadbeach.
Yes.
Jupiter's.
He's almost got a residency
Yeah,
at
yeah.
Jupiter's here.
The Cube, Campbelltown, Sydney. Well, no idea what that is. Mansfield Tavern, Mansfield. Fucking oath.
Sega World.
Mansfield of Mansfield mining disaster fame.
That's Beaconsfield.
Beaconsfield.
I was a
That was
Beaconsfield.
Beaconsfield.
Mansfield
Tassie,
of
wasn't it?
Violent Soho fame, if you know the band. Out of there.
Yes,
Yeah,
I do.
Mansfield Tavern.
There you go.
There you go.
Good stuff.
Dude,
That's
those-
the Cheggy bet. Also, put
That-
Justice in.
Yeah,
Because Justice,
Justice
but he'll be
obviously.
paying $1 but you
Yeah,
know what?
yeah.
Fuck it. 8
That's one of the
Legends
great collections of fighting venues, though, this country's got to offer.
Absolutely love it.
Dubbo RSL, the only one that was left off there.
Well, look, that's his loss. That's his loss.
Yeah. What was hilarious that came out in and around this whole Folau fiasco was that when Folau joined Catalans, Le Catalans, that the second he joined the team WhatsApp group, Jimmy Maloney started sending him gay porn.
But not just sending him 1 or 2 videos, flooding.
Flooding him with gay porn. That, like...
If that isn't one of the great senses of humor, then what the fuck is?
But
That
also-
is genius.
But also, like, it's one of those things where it's like you almost wouldn't think to do it. 'Cause you're like, fuck, that's inappropriate. But to have people like that who actually just don't give a
who
shit.
back themselves
Yeah.
and rip in. It's fucking hilarious. We've long thought that James Maloney, who, you know, when he was in Australia couldn't stop winning, but we've always known that he was a great larrikin, I think.
Yes. Yes.
Modern day Brett Finch, if you will.
Correct.
Modern day, that's right. But when I heard that, he went to another echelon for
Yeah,
me.
that's one.
He
of the
went up
great-
another rung. I'm
Yeah.
like, this motherfucker doesn't quit, baby.
Well,
Like,
that's just one of the great trolls all time. Here is a major, major homophobe and religious sort of, you know, like, what's zealot? Is that the right word, or am I just?
I think so,
Can
yeah.
you use Google zealot for me,
Yeah.
just so I can leave this place with a bit more knowledge and soak in the punter and the dribble? But let's call Flower religious zealot.
Yeah, a member of fanatical sect. Yeah, pretty much.
He's a
fanatical
zealot.
He's a
partisan.
bloody zealot, punters and dribblers. You're welcome. To have Jimmy Maloney have such disregard for his outdated views, just to flood him, no less, loads and loads and loads of gay porn is
and loads.
is one of the great trolls all time, and I think that it deserves
Plaudits.
It deserves plaudits. It deserves much more respect. Like, it was getting respect, but it deserves like all-time status, I think.
And I think not just that he was just flooding it with gay porn, but also just, I'm sure there were a lot of other players in the team who were like, oh, Izzy Folau's joined the WhatsApp group. Let's be nice to him. Let's respect him. And James Maloney's like, you know what?
Nah,
Fuck
bro.
this guy. Yeah, nah.
He
bruh.
wants to be out and about with his views. I'm going to be out and about with mine. Here's some gay porn.
Yeah. Watch this, mate.
Check this one out.
Watch this.
You might spot someone you know in there.
Do your mates ever
Better
send you
fantasy.
those ones that's like, it looks like a regular photo, but then when you click on it and it gets bigger, it's
that
just
dude
like,
with the huge
yeah,
black dick.
exactly.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
imagine it was something along the lines of that.
My mates sometimes send me shit like that. Not like out and out gay porn, right? Because that's sort of weird. It's always meant to be one that's funny, but I'm not one to send shit. Maybe I'll forward it if I'm sent it. I guess that's how they get around. But like, I've been sent some fucking rogue shit from my friends. But I mean, they know that I'm not a religious zealot, so it's a little bit different, isn't it?
It's completely different.
It's a completely different situation. There's no zealot about me.
You weren't, sacked from a high-paying job because you were sharing weird homophobic crap on your Instagram.
No, I wasn't, Eddie, and thankfully not.
That's the difference.
That's the difference.
Just in case you were a little confused. Because it seemed like you were.
I'm just trying to work through it in my mind. So what you're saying to me is, because I am not a generational footballer, one of the highest paid in the country, and sort of with a lot of eyeballs on me, and because I didn't then go and share homophobic views on my social media, for which I have a lot of followers, me and Flower are different.
That's right.
Okay,
Look, you've nailed it.
fair call.
So congratulations to you, Tom, and congratulations more than anything to James Maloney
Yep.
for one of the big lifts all time.
Yep. Let's move on. But is that it?
That's it.
Boom. Reach out, Kelly Slater.
Reach out, Kel. Well, look, we're ticking them off. You're about the only bloke left.
Yeah.
Reach out, Kel.
Kel, PVL on the podcast, hopefully, some point before the season kicks off.
Your words, not ours.
Correct. But that's it. Until next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Could you two just not talk anymore?